Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is our weekly essential collection. 5 key stories in hotel and travel distribution that really caught our eye. We pull out the highest impact insights, especially for busy hoteliers trying to stay ahead.
Exactly. And our mission today is, well, to quickly unpack these big shifts we're seeing in tech, in how guests behave, regulations too, all hitting distribution right now. And we should probably start with the biggest one, shouldn't we? The huge channel disruptor, AI in search.
Okay, let's get into that. The prediction is pretty stark, isn't it? By the end of 2026, something like 50% of all search traffic coming from AI engines.
Yeah, half. Think Google's AI overviews, ChatGPT, tools like that, not your traditional blue links anymore. The whole guest journey is becoming much less linear, more fragmented. People are getting these really specific, curated answers instantly.
So standard SEO, search engine optimization, that's not enough anymore?
It just won't cut it, no. You need what we're calling Generative Engine Optimisation, GEO. Basically a way to feed your structured content directly into those AI summaries, not just aiming for the link list.
All right, getting into the answer itself.
Precisely. We actually saw a really good example, an outdoor hospitality brand. They adapted their stuff for these AI native platforms and saw a 56% jump in lead conversion rates. 56%. So yeah, showing up in those AI answers is pretty much mandatory now.
Wow. Okay, that's a huge shift from just typing into a search box. So let's switch gears. Maybe from the search box to the messaging box. WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, the scale there is just massive. 3 billion users globally.
And look at holiday pirates using WhatsApp channels. Their subscriber base apparently exploded, like 8 times over, to more than 625,000 people. And get this, it's now driving 4% of their traffic, and they say the ROI is better than email.
It makes sense when you think about it. I mean, in lots of key Asian markets, Malaysia, Indonesia, places like that, messaging hotels directly on WhatsApp, that's already completely standard consumer behavior.
Okay, so the trend is definitely moving our way.
But there's a catch, right? The big limitation currently is the lack of audience segmentation within the channel's feature itself. You're kind of forced into generic broadcasts.
So is it maybe too soon then? Compared to refining our existing email CRM where we can target, is the risk too high right now?
That's the critical question, isn't it? But look, the trend is happening. So the smart play, build that segmentation internally. Use the data you get from the channel, feed it back into your CRM. You can't rely on the app to do it for you. You need to adapt your own back-end strategy, like right now.
Okay, got it. So we've talked distribution shifting from search to messaging. What about who's traveling and how they travel? Let's look at business travel.
Yeah, the landscape there is definitely changing. There's more optimism, which is good, up 15 points, about 43% feeling positive.
But the patterns are totally different. Was it 39% seeing more multi-destination trips?
And 33% seeing longer trips. And here's a big one. 43% of corporate travel programs now have actual defined leisure policies.
Right. So that old idea of making employees manually split out their personal days, that's basically dead.
And it massively impacts satisfaction. 71% of companies, they directly link happier employees to having these leisure options. But here's where hotels can really step up. There's a big accessibility gap.
How so?
Well, 39% of travelers actually need specific accommodations for, various needs. But only 18% of companies are really set up to extensively handle those requirements. So hoteliers who genuinely tackle that accessibility piece, both physical and digital, they're going to be in a much stronger position to win corporate contracts.
That's a really important point. Hey, shifting gears again, let's touch on regulation. Google's policy update on meta price accuracy. That just went live November 3rd.
Yes, and this is aiming squarely at those, kind of misleading pricing tactics you sometimes see, where the actual bookable rate is buried under higher, less competitive ones.
Yeah, super frustrating. So what did Google actually change?
2 key things. First, the price advertised in Metasearch. It must be the single most prominent rate when the user clicks through to the landing page. No more bait and switch. And second, partners like TripAdvisor. They can now only advertise rates they get directly from the source, so the hotel itself or the OTA. No pulling rates from other aggregators down the chain.
Interesting. So it's really about cleaning up the data source.
Exactly. It's designed to level the playing field, make sure the hotel's own direct rate actually looks competitive when it should.
Okay, good to know. Right. Final insight for today. Event intelligence. There's a fascinating case study on Radiohead's 2025 European tour.
Yeah, projected to bring in over 12 million in tourism impact across just 4 cities. Huge numbers.
From about 205,000 attendees.
But what's really interesting for distribution is how their ticketing strategy completely skewed the spending. They focused heavily on local residents getting tickets first.
And how did that affect spending?
Massively. Accommodation. It only accounted for 18.5% of the total spend. Tiny slice. Food and beverage took almost 60%. 59.9%. It shows that if you're relying just on room bookings around big events, you're missing the biggest piece of the pie.
So event intelligence needs to guide more than just room rates.
Absolutely. It should guide your local distribution, pushing F&B, local experiences,
Okay.
not just room inventory. And you saw it in the data. Berlin and Bologna had the highest mobility spending people traveling in from Central and Eastern Europe specifically for the show.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, the big theme here seems to be adaptability, right? For hoteliers, it's about moving beyond just traditional Google search.
Definitely. You've got to embrace conversational AI messaging apps,
Hmm.
but also adapt your actual product for things like bleisure and figure out how to capture that local event-driven spending.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is, and maybe here's the final thought to leave people with. Think about that Radiohead example again. Accommodation was the lowest spend category. So how well are you, as a hotelier, actually tracking the non-accommodation revenue that big local events drive? And what loyalty strategies could you build to capture more of that other 81.5%, the F&B, the spa, the local tours? You've really got to think beyond just the room.